Good morning, viewers. I welcome you all to this session on the concept and evolution of human resource management. Before going into details of the concept and evolution of human resource management, I would like to give a brief overview about the MBA program and its importance in today's world and how HRM plays an important role in every manager's professional life. So, the MBA program is designed to acquaint all the students with the management practices in different areas. So, when we are working in an organizations, we may have to deal with human resources, operations, marketing, services or finance. So, all these functions are dealt independently and also in an integrative manner. So, the MBA program that is designed gives an idea on all the core concepts of management at first. That it starts with the principles and practices of management, how organizations are structured, how it functions, how the different types of organization structures have evolved and what are the roles of managers. Then we teach about the function of human resource management, human resources being the most precious asset of any organization. So, the purpose of this particular course on human resource management will deal with how to deal with the functions of the workforce in an organization in a routine manner. So, starting from acquiring the human resources, developing them, retaining them, motivating them and compensating them, how all these functions are carried out is taught in the human resource management course. Then we have other core courses like operations management, accounting for managers, marketing management, business communication, then about the overall business environment and also different aspects of organizational behavior. Organizational behavior mainly deals with how to motivate the employees, what are the leadership styles that are practiced in organizations and how to maintain an interpersonal relationships and other things. Apart from that, there are also courses on research methodology and operations research, and also there is one course on the employment and industrial relations, which mainly deals with the union management relations and how to manage the grievance functions. So, these are basically the broad coverage of you would require to be knowing the application of human resource management and how this function is carried out. So, in a very basic terms, human resource management is the process of acquiring, developing, maintaining and retaining human resources in an organization with the strategic objective of achieving organizational goals. So, there are very pinpointed terms that are used in this particular definition. What is acquiring? Acquiring means to select, the process of selecting employees for an organization can be acquiring. Then you train them, you develop them to work for your organization and for that particular purpose for which the employee is employed. So, the training plays an important role in development. In acquiring, we do screening, we do interviews, we do written tests, we do campus placements. So, all these things are coming under the function of acquiring. Then once an employee is selected for a particular post, then that particular employee is developed for performing that particular role for which that employee is employed. So, it starts basically with the induction program where employees are inducted into the system and they are informed about different types of procedures, policies, what are the strategies, what are the objectives of the organization. Then subsequently they are trained for different activities and that is how they are developed into carrying out and reaching to the objectives of the organization. Then comes the maintaining. Maintaining means how they are compensated, what are the facilities available, what are the benefits that company is going to have. So, in order to retain an employee, the employee has to be developed and maintained so that the person, the employee carries out the function effectively and efficiently to achieve the objectives. So, human resource managers are also involved in strategy making of the organization, in evolving the objectives of the organization, so that they are in line from the very beginning of their function, that is acquiring, developing and maintaining. So that the person who is employed who is selected for a particular role knows that the objective of this organization is this and he has to perform these particular roles very efficiently so that the strategic objective is reached. And retention of high performing employees is also a big challenge and issue for the human resource managers. So, how to motivate, how to engage them, how to attract good human resources and retain them are also the major functions of any HR manager. So, now we have understood briefly how HRM functions and what are the major functions of HRM. Now, if we see, there are three terms that are involved in human resource management: human, resource and management. So, independently if we see each of these terms, then human means the term refers, anybody can say that the workforce or the employee who are acquired to perform in an organization are human in the context of human resource management. So, the human can be a group of employees or an independent employee, but anybody who is involved in an organizational activity is referred to as human in the context of human resource management. Then what is resource? It refers to an organization's workforce, collective workforce. Suppose in an industry, a resource can be, if we go to a steel industry, then the resources can be iron. The resources can be the software resources that are available, but the most precious resource will be human resource, who will be functioning, who will be acting as a catalyst to get the things done. So, resource in this human resource management part is human resources, that is the employees of an organization. Then what is management? Management is a very broad discipline which deals different types of functions, but when we come down to human resource management, it refers to the most efficient use of human resources in order to achieve the organization goals. It means whom we select, how we develop, how we maintain and how we retain. All these things should be efficiently done in order to achieve the organizational objective. We have to see that our entire process of human resource management is related to the strategic objective of the organization. So, these are the background of the concept of human resource management. As the concept of human resource management has evolved down the line, so there are many management scientists who have defined the term very aptly. So, in this session we will be dealing with 3 to 4 definitions, major definitions which are used by academicians, researchers and practitioners of human resource management, but there are many more definitions available. So, according to Edwin B. Flippo, human resource management is planning, organizing, directing and controlling of the procurement, development resources to the end that individual and societal objectives are accomplished. So, in this one sentence, Edwin B. Flippo has defined the functions of HRM, importance of HRM and the role of HRM. So, here HRM is broadly, he has suggested HRM is broadly dealing with the planning, organizing, directing, controlling of human resources. Means we have to plan whom to acquire, whom to select, then we have to manage them how in terms of organizing training programs, organizing different functions, organizing the team schedule, everything. Then the role of manager comes when he or she directs and gets the thing done, and also there are set rules for controlling the functions of the human resources. Then he has moved what is the role of HRM from individual till the society. So, how these HR functions are going to contribute for the individual objectives, reaching the individual objectives of a company or of an employee, and how it is contributing towards the societal objectives. So, all these functions are interrelated with one mission of reaching to the objective, whether it is individual or for the organization or for the society. Similarly, Dessler has defined HR as the policies and practices involved in carrying out the people or human resource aspects of a management position, including recruiting, screening, training, rewarding and appraising of human resource management. So, here Dessler has pointed out the role of HR policies, practices and the objectives of that particular organization while recruiting, selecting, training, rewarding and appraising the performance of the organization, of those employees in an organization. So, if we compare the previous definition by Flippo and Dessler, Flippo has given a very broad definition of planning, organizing, directing and development, while Dessler has narrowed it down to recruitment, selection, development, rewarding and appraising the performance of the employees. Similarly, Decanjo and Robbins has defined acquiring the engaging required workforce appropriate for the job and concerned with developing maintenance and utilization of workforce. Here Decanjo and Robbins have stressed upon the process of engaging the employees, which is a new thing in the if you compare it with the previous definitions, where employee engagement, engaging them in getting things done efficiently and effectively is a big challenge for any organization, any manager. So how to appropriately select them, engage them and efficiently get the work done is also an aspect of a human resource manager. So these two more definitions we will deal. Story has defined HRM as a distinct approach to employment management which seeks to achieve competitive advantage through the strategic deployment of a highly committed, capable workforce using an integrated array of cultural, structural and personal techniques. So here there is a new term that has evolved, that is competitive advantage. So in today's organizations we see a lot of changes from the previous years organizations, where there are many competitive scenarios emerge. So the entire business environment is volatile and very much competitive, and organizations are facing the challenge of engaging the most efficient human resources in order to achieve the strategic objectives to meet with this volatile competitive environment. So here Story has defined the human resource management functions in the context of the competitive advantage and the strategic aspect of an organization. Similarly, French Wendell has defined HRM is the recruitment, selection, development, utilization, compensation and motivation of human resources by the organization. Here there comes a new term into the definition series, that is motivation. Employee engagement and motivation and retention are interrelated. So if you think that without motivating or without rewarding a person is going to perform efficiently, is very less chance. So organizations, human resource managers have to see how they can motivate the employees whom they have selected to perform the best, and how to place the right people at the right place, so that the function is carried out efficiently, and again the objective is to reach to the organization's goals. Now if we come to the evolution of the HRM, so it has travelled a long journey. It started as a function of a welfare mechanism for the employees, for the workforce. With the industrial revolutions, the factory system has grown up widely, wherein employees were employed and they were given a particular salary or some benefits for working. Then came the world wars, where some policies were made for selecting the employees, then getting them worked, where there were the requirement of labor managers. So initially during the first industrial revolution phases, only the welfare officer were there who used to take care of the basic needs of the employees, and there was selection in a very unscientific manner, and they were carried with a particular purpose. Then during World War time, there came the role of a policy and the requirements for which selection has to be made. Then came the role of a labor manager who was dealing with selection of labor and then rewarding them, then compensating them and performing the general administrative functions. Then during 1945, after the World War, came the concept of personnel management. Personnel management, the concept of personnel management has been termed by different management scientists such as Taylor, Edward McGregor, Elton Mayo, and every renowned management scientists, human relations experts. They have contributed in conceptualizing the personnel management function, wherein there was some distinction between a general management and a particular management functions which deals with the workforce. They were mainly focusing on the administrative side, then compliance with the rules and regulations. Then there were limited scope of activities apart from the normal selection, training, compensation and maintenance function of the HR. So there were mainly it was a combination of selection processes and some sort of human relations, motivation and managing the workforce. Then 1980 onwards, the concept of human resource management evolved, where we saw that there was lot of competitiveness amongst the organization. The business environment become very much volatile. The performance were of very competitive. Then everything was slowly becoming uncertain because there were a lot of competitors in the market for a same particular management function. So what emerged is, instead of focusing only on human resource management, personnel management, human resource managers were involved in different other activities, support activities, where they were involved in suppose while in an organization a function is taking place in a marketing department, then human resource management were also involved in that. Earlier what used to happen is they used to only work in their arena of managing the workforce. Then 1980 onwards, with the globalization, with the volatile market, everything, human resource managers also performed as a support functions in other management functions. So they were very proactive. Instead of just record keeping and administrative, they started working as a support functionaries and also were integrated into other management functions. From 2000 onwards, when this different strategies were formed for any organization, the role of human resource managers are also sought for, wherein the focus from focusing only on exclusively on human resource management focus, that is recruitment, training, compensation or industrial relations, they were focused on different value added activities also. There are multiple functions, multidisciplinary functions where human resource managers are performing. So now the term has evolved from human resource management to strategic human resource management. So if we go very narrowly how HRM has evolution from, there are 5 concepts which focus on the evolution of human resource management, At the very first stage, when the industrial revolution was going on, industrial revolution 1 and 2, the commodity concept was applicable in managing the workforce. Workforce employees were treated as like any other commodity, and their role was very limited, and there was no focus on maintaining the well-being of the employees during those time, wherein only the commodity concept was applied for treating the workforce. Then came the factor of production concept, where Taylor's scientific management played a major role, wherein employees were treated as one of the factors of production, and they were given some importance in terms of their needs. Then the paternalistic concept was applied, wherein the employer was acting as a father of the organization, taking care of the needs of some of the needs of the employees, and therein came the little bit of flexibility in providing employees a wellness and well-being of the employees. Then came the humanitarian concept, where human relations were treated, and where Douglas McGregor's human relations movement played a role, where there was a interrelationship between the employees and how employees should be treated well in the organizations. So that concept was there. Then the behavioral human resource concept was applied in human resource management, where motivation, employee engagement, commitment, organizational culture, all these things came into picture. Now, broadly we have understood what is human resource management, how it has evolved from a simple welfare officer to a strategic HR position. Now, to understand what is the major difference between personal and personal management and human resource management, there are different aspects of how the personal management was dealing and how HRM is dealing. The first being the approach. The personal management's approach was very short term, reactive, ad hoc. So they were not focusing on a long term goal. If somebody, personal manager was given a role to select an employee for a particular role, means that role of that HR manager ends there itself when that particular employee is recruited. Whereas HRM's approach is long term. Long term means HR managers see that the employees they were selected are contributing in organizational goal, and how they can be integrated in different organizational functions. Then from the aspect of employee relation, personal management was pluralist, collective and low trust, whereas HRM is unitarist, individualized and high trust. So personal management, employee relations means they used to do in a mass thing. They never treated employees individually. So all the rules, policies that they were framing were in a collective manner, wherein there was a low trust among the managers and the employees, wherein HRM it is individualistic, and there became a high trust between the managers and the workforce. From the aspect of role, personal management played a very specialist role, that only they used to function for the personnel department of recruitment, training and wage and salary, which we now call it as compensation. They never used to contribute in any other function of the organization, whereas HRM plays an integrative role. They are involved in different other roles. So it has traveled from a very specialist role to a multidisciplinary integrative role. From the aspect of structure of a personnel management department, it always used to be a bureaucratic and centralized. There were set frames, rules they used to follow. The structure of the personnel management department was also very bureaucratic and all the powers were centralized. But in case of human resource management, the structure is very flexible and decentralized and rules are very transparent. From the aspect of focus, personnel management only focus on cost minimization of any activity they were doing, whereas HRM's focus is on maximum utilization of resources. If we recruit an employee, means we have to efficiently utilize that employee for reaching the objective of the organization. So, maximum utilization of resources became the focus of human resource management. I think there are few messages which says that something wrong with the audio. So, I would request the technical team. All right. Okay. So, let us move into the objectives of human resource management. So, there are four major objectives of human resource management: societal objectives, organizational objectives, functional objectives and personal objectives. Societal objectives means overall how human resource management is contributing into the societal development. Society can be a union, society can be a outer society from your organization or any other aspect. And these days corporate social responsibility is, you can consider it as a societal objective of and human resource management also. So, there are set legal compliances, benefits, there are certain rules, benefits that we have to follow in order to achieve the societal objectives, and mainly it focuses on the union management relations as a society. So, a group of employees have to be dealt in order to have a smooth functioning of the organization. Now, coming to organizational objectives, which is the main function of any management manager, is to contribute in reaching to the organizational objectives. In what way HR managers can contribute in organizational objectives? That can be human resource planning. Employee relations means interpersonal relations between employees, and what are one-to-one relation between employee and employer. Then selection, how to select employees, training and development, appraisal, performance appraisal of the employees, placement, when recruited, where to place at the right place to utilize the employees perfectly, then assessment the performance. So, these are the organizational objectives of a human resource management department. Then what are the functional objectives? So, broadly, after organizational objectives, we move to the functional objectives, how to reach to the organizational objectives. So, the appraisal, performance of an how to monitor the performance of an employee comes under the appraisal function of the human resource management. Then how to place them at the right place, then how to assess them, how to develop them, all these comes under the functional objectives. Then comes the personal objectives. Personal objective means how to develop and maintain a particular employee in order to function in a set desired manner to reach to the strategic objective of the organization broadly. So, the functions of training and development, again performance appraisal, placement compensation assessment play a significant role in the personal objectives of human resource management. So, before moving forward, we will see if there are any questions. Or else we will take a break for 2 minutes, then we will get back to you. Yeah. So, we have now covered the concept of human resource management, definition of human resource management, and then we have also seen the functions of human resource management. Now, we will just wrap up how the objectives of human resource management turn into the activities of human resource management. So, what are the major activities that a human resource manager play? The first major activity is human resource planning. Human resource planning is a broad activity of a human resource management which is linked with the organizational objectives, strategies, and then it is planned how to acquire, if there is any requirement of employees in a particular specialization or area or field, and how to acquire that particular human resource, getting them employed, train them to function, then to compensate them, to maintain them, to engage them efficiently. All these things are planned in advance in human resource planning activity of human resource management. Once all these things are planned, the second stage comes the recruitment, selection and personal placement. So, there are different methods of recruitment where employees are the top management or the different departments give their requirements, then the planning takes place and the recruitment process starts. Recruitment can be from outside, involving the outside agencies, or by giving advertisement, or through social media. There are different medium of recruitment. Once the applications are sorted out, the selection process starts, where it can be only the application scrutiny, or can be written test, or can be interview, or can be group discussion. There are different formats of selection. After a particular employee or a set of employees are selected, then they are placed in a department for which they were selected. There comes the induction, role of induction, wherein the employees, the newly recruited employees are taught about the mission, vision, goal, strategy, objectives about the organization, and also what are the benefits they are going to get from the organizations. Then, depending upon the requirement of the skills and abilities, and to meet to the new requirements, the employees are trained in a very periodic manner, and there also comes the activity of human resource management. So, training and development is an ongoing process for any human resource management department. So, that helps in updating the skills and abilities of the selected employees. Then comes the role of the performance appraisal, where if an employee is selected, they are given a particular task or a particular goal to achieve. Then in a periodic manner, suppose in 1 year or in 6 months or in a target base, the appraisal, the performance is measured in terms using different types of techniques that are available. Nowadays the 360-degree appraisal is carried out for measuring the performance of employees. Then comes the activity of motivating the workforce. So, in order to get the work done in very efficiently, employees have to be motivated. So, there are different kinds of formats are available for different types of roles that managers play to motivate employees. Then remuneration is a part of the entire employment aspect, where there are different types of salary structures are there are different benefits are there are different schemes are there which are offered to employees during their selection time, and also after each performance appraisal or after each goal achievement, the remuneration and the benefits are updated, and there are set rules in every organization they follow for the remuneration of employees. So, motivation, remuneration play a significant role in retaining the employees in an organization, and also to get them, utilizing them for efficiently for carrying out their particular functions. Then comes the social security and welfare of employees of the activities of HR managers, where there are these are mostly guided by the legal aspects, and also organizations frame their own welfare measures and different schemes wherein the social security is taken care by the employer. So, these are the broad activities that HRM undertakes in any organization. Now, what is the importance of HRM? Why HRM is required in an organization? Why human resource managers are required in an organization? So, there are again 4 aspects of the importance of human resource management. One is corporate, social, professional and national. In the functions of HRM, we have already seen the 4 aspects of HRM, and similarly the importance is also linked to the aspects or functions of the HRM. So, now coming to the corporate importance of HRM, the major function is to attract and retain the required talent. Human resources are also nowadays called as human capital. So, when we treat them in a very pervasive manner, then they act very well for the organization. Then how to attract, because there are lot of talents available, and how to retain them. Then develop the necessary skills and right attitudes among the employees. Secure willing cooperation of employees through motivation, participation, and handle their grievance. If any grievance crops up, then how to manage the grievances, then how to maintain the interpersonal relationships, and how to play a significant role as a leader. Then utilize effectively and efficiently the available human resources. Then how to ensure that the enterprise will have in future a team of competent and dedicated employees. So, for future purpose of the particular employee or for an organization, career development plays an important role. So, wherein employees are given an idea that if you perform like this in during the next 2 or 3 years, then you go to that other designation, you get that designation. So, all these things are play an important role in a corporate for a HR managers. Then coming to social importance of human resource management. So, there are many educated skilled employees or prospective employees are available. So, to provide suitable employment to them and maintain a balance between the availability and utilization of employees. Then eliminate the waste through conservation of human resource management in their physical and mental health. You have to maintain a balance. An employee cannot be overworked. There has to be a balance between the concept of work-life balance comes into play. Now, what is the importance of HRM in professional aspect? That is to provide maximum opportunities for personal development of each employee. They have to be given a clear-cut indication about their career development. They have to be taught in advance that what are they going to achieve if they perform this, or what are the plans of the organization for their future development. Then to maintain a healthy relationship between individual and different work groups, wherein comes the role of interpersonal relationship, group and teamwork, and where also comes the role of organizational power and politics. So, all these things, the motivation and all the organizational behavioral aspect come into play here. Then broadly, what is the importance of HRM for the national point of view? So, judicious utilization of resources and utilizing the competent workforce. Then economic development of nation is also dependent on the available skills, available employment. So, all these things, human resource managers play a significant role, and overall it should accelerate the process of economic growth of the nation in terms of corporate's performance, in terms of developing the skilled employees, and also contributing for the society. Now, what is the scope of HRM? By now we have understood the concept, the functions, the importance, and now we will see what is the scope of human resource management. The first scope is setting general and specific management policy. So, human resource managers play a role in setting up the company's policy, strategies, and also the HRM policy of any organization. Then comes a collective bargaining, contract negotiation, contract administration, and grievance handling. Here comes the role of industrial relations, where the union plays a significant role. There are legislations which guide for these activities. One has to maintain discipline in an organization. The grievances have to be handled properly. Then the bargaining takes place between the union and employer. All these things are also coming under the scope of human resource management. Then the most important function of staffing also is the scope of human resource management, where employees are recruited and then they are placed, then they are developed, and they are well compensated, and their social security is also taken care. Then comes the aiding in the scope of HR also is in aiding in the self development of employees, where comes the performance appraisal, training and development, career development. All these things are related to employee specific and in alignment with the strategic objective of the organization. Then comes the developing and maintaining, reviewing and auditing, wherein the performance appraisal again comes. After an employee is found to be developed in a particular function or for a particular job, then the particular employee has to be trained and developed. Then how to retain them, how to maintain them, review their performance. And HR audit is also in practice, where the all these appraisal, career development, training and policy of the HR and company's policies are also measured. Then comes the industrial relations, where collective bargaining, workers' participation in management, different employees relations schemes and labor legislations play an important role. So these are the broad scope of HRM. What is the nature of HRM? What kind of roles they play and how do they play? So HRM is a pervasive force, means it is not an independent force, it acts in line with different other functions of a management. It is an ongoing functions, it never stops. Any organization that functions means human resources are involved, and it has to be a continuous, managing them has to be a continuous and pervasive function. HRM is action oriented, means if any objective or any target is set, means the HR managers have to be action oriented to achieve those goals and objectives. Then they are also individually oriented, means when they employ a particular person, means they have to, HR managers ensure their career development, they are well compensated, their social security is taken care, then the work-life balance is maintained. So all these are individually oriented nature of human resource managers. Then comes people oriented. So in any organization, any function, if you see, there is a set of people, employees who work together to achieve a target. So HR managers also manage the team group activities, and they see that the positive outcomes of the group activities and team activities. There also the union plays a significant role. Then what is the future oriented nature of human resource management? So these strategic human resource management functions, wherein a strategy is designed for a period of say 1, 2 years or 3 years or 5 years. So HR managers have also to play a role in a futuristic manner to achieve those strategies. So that their nature is also future oriented. Then development oriented. So once an employee is employed and there is a set objective, means they have to be trained, developed, and they have to be motivated for reaching out to the objective. So their nature is development, future oriented and development oriented. So all these functions are interrelated. They have to be action oriented, they have to be future oriented, and they have to be development oriented. And these things only will be effective if they are employee oriented, they are group oriented, and they perform their work in a continuous manner. Their HR managers' work never stops. It begins before any particular function of an organization starts, and it ends after that also. It doesn't end after that also. It is an ongoing cyclic function. Then its nature is also interdisciplinary in nature, like if there is requirement in marketing, if there is requirement in finance, every function of management is related to HR management. So, every function involves human resources, so that obviously human resource managers play an interdisciplinary role. And as I have already told, it is a continuous function. So, every short term objective, long term objective, policy, goal, everything is a continuous function wherein human resource management play a very vital role. And integrated, they act as an integrated in an integrated manner, so that the objectives, sub-objectives, the functions, the policy, all these things are interrelated, and they efficiently manage the human resources and develop them, so that the broad organizational objectives are achieved. So, there are different types of human resource systems. Again, these are related to the functions of recruitment management, information management, training management, performance management, reward management, career management, health and safety management, discipline management, culture management. So, all these are interrelated systems dealing with different other functions of the management. So, that is all for in today's session. So, hope you have enjoyed. If you have any question, any doubt, please feel free to email us, and also there are social media channels available wherein you can ask your questions. Thank you so much.